Hello, everybody. This is Simon Says. Get me on my Twitter at Kirky McJerky. Yeah, not the best Twitter handle in the world, but, it is what it is. I made it probably about 10 years ago, so bear with me. If you want to follow me on there, I talk about a whole bunch of things from music, pop culture, and obviously to one of my biggest passions, which is Star Wars. And let's get into Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. For those who follow me on Twitter, yes, I am part of the fandom menace. I'm disillusioned with the sequel trilogy. I haven't liked really where it's gone. I think to get a little, preface on where I want to go with what I felt during the Rise of Skywalker screening last night, mind you. The Force Awakens I liked, was a bit of a rehash of A New Hope. Yes, it was. But it was still a very enjoyable movie for the most part. And I think they brought in some elements and some themes, which was new, refreshing, and I liked where they were going. And then The Last Jedi, for those of you who don't know me, I really didn't care for it. Yeah, there were some really moving moments because there were parts where I was like, crying because of Luke Skywalker, and I don't know if that was because I liked his ending or just because it was like, you've destroyed fundamentally the character of Luke Skywalker, who he was, what he learned, and you scrunched it up and threw it away, and then he died. So I think that's more why I was shedding tears in that movie, but I did not care for it. The dad jokes, the Skype calls, spending 3/4 of a movie going through space doing absolutely nothing, running out of fucking fuel, and I apologize, there will be swearing in this movie. In this in this movie. No, in this take. But I just didn't care for it. And I read all the spoilers for The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I read everything I wanted to know about it before I went in because I wanted to have hope. Just because I'm part of the fandom menace and I'm fundamentally disagreeing with Disney's vision, Kathleen Kennedy, what they've done with Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and the firing of Colin Trevorrow, I wanted to like this movie because it's Star Wars and I love Star Wars. And I've got to be honest. Yes, honestly, all the spoilers that I had read, just like everybody else, from Paxos and all that sort of stuff, yeah, as everyone says, about 90% fully correct. It's there. It's in your face. And when you read what was spoiled, it plays out on screen fine in a general basis, right? But when you get to the crux of what this movie is about and what the direction was for JJ essentially finalizing this trilogy and telling his version of how it was meant to end, and you take into account maybe 7, 8, and now 9, there's so many issues. Fundamentally, I agreed now I didn't with the Force calls, the Force Skype calls in episode 8, but I understand them in episode 9. I get it, I get their connection. You've got the light side and you've got the dark side, and you've got Kylo wrestling with his light still the whole way through, but he never became a Sith, right? He never went fully down the dark side path. It was kind of hinted at and shown in this movie, but he never fully embraced it. There was always this part of him that was so easily to come back to. So he was never a believable figure in the dark side of the Force or as a Sith. So they had to tug on nostalgia and bring back Palpatine. Now I'm going to get back. I'm going to come around full circle to that because I have some major issues with that entire part. But if we're talking about the relationship and the believability of Rey and Kylo, not Reylo, not that part. No. But their interactions, their relationship, it's like a toxic relationship that you don't know if you should begin the relationship or finish it before it even began, but you care about each other because of some connection you have. And in the end, it's labeled in a way that is fine with me as a Force dyad, but it's pulled from Expanded Universe. And sometimes Disney canon does not want to pull major parts from the Expanded Universe and make them canon. JJ has not only done it once in this movie, he's done it 3 times to move the story ahead. And while I am absolutely fine with those Force elements, which we'll get to, it just went from 0 to 100 with these characters to make it believable and come full circle so fast that you didn't have time to even, like, process it. And on a second, third, fourth, fifth viewing, I don't care. It's not going to change my opinion on that because the entire movie was 0 to 100. But those specific moments that you know about, specifically the end and the Emperor Palpatine talking about your coming together will be your own doing, and then explaining essentially a Force dyad, just threw me out. Okay, well, alright, I've already jumped to the end of the movie, because that's the part of the movie, from 50% of the movie to 100% of the movie, the ending, so part 2 to part 3 of the movie, I just had major problems with, right? So part 1, Kylo, badass, kicking ass, killing people, right? Finds, essentially a wayfinder, which looks like a holocron, and he has to put some, AUX cords into it, and he can fly to Exegol. Now, whatever, he's got the Force, he should have been able to, unlock that holocron just like every other holocron and find out where the hell Palpatine was. So, he goes to Exegol, he finds out Palpatine, he wants to kill him because he only wants to be, the number one, and he's like, no, still going to kill Rey, so I'm going to go kill Rey. While this is all happening, right, Rey is training, she's, levitating in the air, she's calling on the Jedi of the past, right, be with me, all that sort of stuff. And then she gets frustrated, she goes up, and then suddenly it's she shows this full, range of powers, and that's fine, it's a nice little moment. You kind of see her, I guess, going through her paces. Clearly she's been doing this course a couple of times. I was fine with that. I was like, cool, I'm finally seeing something of Rey. Now, it's been 1 year between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So I was like, okay, cool. So if she's been doing this a lot with Leia, and Leia's been helping her with her Force techniques and all that sort of stuff, then cool, right? So I can see, she's trying to harness her power and train and channel it, right? But then you can also see how quickly frustrated she gets. So that was kind of like Luke. Luke became brash and all that sort of stuff. So, impulsive, emotional in some ways. And you can see that in Rey. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see a bit more of Rey. Because in The Last Jedi, I was like, I can't stand her. Could not stand her character in there. The development was terrible. The script was terrible, and she did nothing. In this one, I was like, this is going well. I was like, I get it. I get it all. And then this movie kind of, takes off, right? So they're like, oh, there's this Force out there, and we got to go find it. And no one knows anything. And, you've got those familiar characters, Chewbacca and Maz and all this sort of stuff. And they're like, oh, I know someone who could give us more information on this, and we're going to go to Pisana. So you go to Pisana, they do their thing, and this is where, for me, it kind of started getting murky. It's like, they got to find this guy, Oki, right? Or Ochi. And this dude, essentially was tasked, he was kind of a Sith disciple of Palpatine, was tasked to go find Rey's parents, right? And he finds them, obviously, and he kills them. Not before, Rey's parents had moved her to Jakku, put her on there, he hunts the parents down and kills them, right? Apparently it's Palpatine's son. And who the hell knows when the hell Palpatine even had time to meet a woman and had kids, which then, and then they had the offspring, which was Rey. So that makes absolutely no sense to me. That's one of those convenient plot points I have a massive problem with, because it's like, okay, well, that wasn't even a thing, right? That wasn't even set up before, and now for it all to make sense that she's a nobody, but we got to make her now a somebody, right? Because that cave scene was completely fucking useless, where she clicks her fingers and she looks at herself 3,000 times. So she's a Palpatine, right? And this classic J.J. Abrams misdirection, right? So Ochi crashes his ship, he falls into the same goddamn pit, sinking sand, whatever the hell they call it, as the heroes do. All of them fall into this pit with a fucking giant serpent snake that's straight from Harry Potter, that's wounded. No one knows how, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter how it was wounded. Maybe Ochi injured it. I don't know. But he's down there with this wayfinder of how to get back to Exegol, where Palpatine's still chilling, right? And, rejuvenating. But if he was already there, why would he need his wayfinder to still navigate the way he came? He's come, obviously multiple times, out of the unknown regions. Like, do you need this thing to go there every time? Like, it's weird. It's weird, whatever. And he's dead. So it's the dagger, right? You got the dagger. And it looks ridiculous. Like, it looks ridiculous. It's got that little thing that comes out at the end. It looks like, a detachable dildo, and Rey's putting up it next to the front of the Death Star to find out where exactly it is in a crumbling ruin, which should be absolutely in a million pieces. But no, there it is. If I line up this little dildo on the side of the dagger, I'll be able to find exactly where the side of the throne room is, where I'll be able to find this holocron to get the information that I need to get to Exegol. What? No, terrible. Anyway, back to Pisana. So, convenient plot points on there. Yeah, there's a festival. Okay, I can sense Kylo. He's coming. I'm going to go run out to the desert by myself. Finn is always going to be like, Rey! Always running after her, screaming, Rey! Like, he just can't help himself, right? And then, they come down. And the Knights of Ren, seriously, these guys stalk around doing nothing the entire movie. Nothing. Literally, don't know what the point is. They're like looking around a rock. Oh, there goes Chewbacca. Oh, all right. But they look like the shot is framed, they look like they're right near the hero's ship, which is Ochi's ship, right? Why the fuck wouldn't they just go and attack them all with the First Order? Why? No. Okay, let's just go get the Wookiee. All right, let's go capture the Wookiee and not the rest. It makes no sense. Like, what the hell are you doing? And then complete classic misdirection, right? JJ, you see Chewbacca go into a transport, right? But you don't ever clearly see any other you don't really see clearly. You see the distance, right, of all the ships, right? But you don't see clearly multiple transports, let alone two, right? You see that one. So when they take off, and they're all like, Chewbacca's on the thing, and then Rey's like, sees Kylo, it's a cool moment, she chops the wing off, he gets out, they're pissed, right? They're about to start fighting. And she's like, I'm going to pull this fucking ship down, right? Well, cool, but then Kylo's like, I'm going to try and push this fucking thing away. So there's this weird, awkward thing. People on the ship are probably like, whoa, I'm seasick, the fuck's going on? Air sick, getting flight travel sickness. And then the lightning comes out, which I thought was cool in the context of who she is, right? And she can't control her emotions and her force powers still yet, right? Which I get, she's learning and adapting. But it's like, whoa. Like, we are seeing shit from these characters, but specifically Rey, which we haven't even seen Anakin do, Luke do, to a certain point, Yoda do. Yoda was raising out Luke's X-Wing on Dagobah. Yes, okay, he was old, I get it. So it's going to take him more force energy to do it. But he still struggled. And she's just like, yeah, I got this. And then even when she's wrestling with Kylo, it still didn't look like it was a big effort. Like, it just didn't. And then something that's like, I'm pissed off, lightning, explosion, I hate myself, we killed Chewbacca, right? Okay, crazy. So, I want to fast forward. I haven't got a lot of time. And by the way, like, I'm driving to work, everybody. So, I literally have, oh my God, like a minute and 30 minutes. So, look, I'm going to tie up this first pass of Pisana. I'm going to do a multi-part discussion about this movie. So this is part one, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I will release part two as soon as I can. But thank you for listening to this one. Let me know your thoughts. Hit me up on Twitter.